Originally, I had a whole script ready for this video, and I had planned all of it weeks beforehand. I thought to myself, okay, this is how I'm going to make this portion of the video, this is how I'm going to make this portion of the video. Oh, but I still have time. And now, I have to get this video ready tomorrow as of recording this. So, Persona 3, as of the exact date that I uploaded this video, which is July 13th, Japanese time at midnight, Persona 3, the original, or vanilla as people like to call it, was released for the PlayStation 2. And I have so many fond memories of Persona 3. So, it's kind of funny because most people, they get into Persona in their late teens or their early 20s, or maybe like me when you're still a kid. I remember it very fondly, actually. Persona 5 had just come out, which is already a decade ago. And in my case, it was 9 years ago that Persona 5 was already out for a couple of months, and it was a hit sensation. I'm sure everybody remembers, or if you were there at the time, you remember. So many people were just so excited, and yeah, turn-based RPGs, they were already so not, Final Fantasy was making the switch to, they already had 15, which was, live action, no, the term I'm looking for is just like, combat, I can't think of the term right now, but just combat that happens in the moment instead of turn-based. They'd already dropped turn-based. So Persona being a hit and turn-based combat being in again was just such, well, not a breath of fresh air, but more so something that nobody had expected. Which is good. I was happy. But at the time, as a young kid, things like Rotten Adults and Justice weren't really on my mind. All I could remember back then was just I had lost all of my friends from grade school. I'd lost everyone because, well, I was going to middle school, and it was a big shift. You start to be, like, as a preteen, you're just thinking of different things, and for me, I remember being so broody as a little kid, so broody, and I wanted to have something that I could resonate with because I had no friends at the time and I had nothing else. So, one night, when I was on YouTube, I came across a video by a YouTuber about Persona 3. I saw the trailer and I was just in awe. I was absolutely floored, jaw-dropped by how beautiful the game was for its time. I remember thinking, what do you mean this came out a decade ago? It looks so cool. What do you mean they summon a persona by shooting themselves in the head? And what do you mean they all talk about themes that I relate to as well? Themes of loss, themes of living in the moment, trying to enjoy what you have, trying to make the best out of it. I don't know. I felt like at that moment I just became a completely different person. And ever since, Persona 3 has carried me through so many hard times. I cannot even begin to explain how many times I was listening to Battle for Everyone's Souls when I just felt upset, when I'd argued with my mom, or when everything was just too much at school. I could turn to video games, and I could especially turn to Persona 3. Now, I wasn't really too much in a fandom or interacted with the community as I was still very young, and personally, I think it's a good thing. I don't think like a 12-year-old should be on the internet talking to strangers, but only 3 years ago, it's been 3 years, nice coincidence, yes, that I came back to the Persona fandom. I opened a Twitter account to talk about the protagonist because he's always been my favorite character. And I don't know, just to share my passion to draw. And even the thumbnail of this video is an art piece that I've drawn. It's just, I love Makoto Yuki, Kitaro, whatever you call him. I love him so much. He was my first video game character crush even when I was 13 years old. I remember being on Pinterest for hours, and especially one thing that shook me completely was when they, in the summer of 2017, had announced Persona 3 dancing in Moonlight. I was floored. Again, I was so happy I could get to see my husband. Not anymore now. I'm way too old now, but way back then. Oh my god, he's in HD. He's in HD. He's coming in HD. Persona 3 remake is real. Everyone thought that Persona 3 remake was actually happening. Because of that, they said, well, they have the assets for Tartarus, the hall with the clock in Tartarus. They have the assets for Polonium Mall, for Iwatodai, for Gekkokan High. Surely a remake is coming, right? Yeah, in like, what, 7 years we'll get a remake? Sure, bro. But yeah, at the time, Persona 5 was still getting milked to death, because now Persona 6 recently got announced, so Persona 5 is coming to an end. And I think something that always stuck with me is, it's kind of like with Final Fantasy people, I guess. If you have a specific version of Persona you like it because something about it resonated with you. For example, people who love Persona 4 love it because maybe they too grew up in a small town and grew up with a couple of people they knew and everyone knew each other in that town, or just the cozy vibe of it that resonates with them, or plenty of other things that they might relate to. But not as many people are into Persona 3, and I think I know why. It's not because it's not well written or because the story isn't, captivating. It's because a lot of people live in the city, and living in the city is not as romantic as Persona 3 makes it out to be. But that's actually why I love Persona 3, because I'm a city girl. I grew up in the city. I still live in the same city. And I've seen how I've interacted with all kinds of people. I think it's wonderful that Persona 3 has that type of representation. As silly as it is to use this word in that context, I think it's just beautiful that Persona 3 shows the life of just these teenagers from a big city going to school every day, taking public transport, just admiring what they have, It's cold, it's lonely, yes. You can't make friends with everyone in town because it's a city. You can't know absolutely everyone in there, and a lot of people are always in a rush trying to get somewhere. But those few people, friends, classmates, family, anyone that you do know or meet, become the absolute highlight of your day or your life. And that's how it is for me too, which is why Persona 3 always will hold such a special place in my heart. Ever since I got my PS2 last year, I've made it a tradition to play the original release of Persona 3. It doesn't matter if it's the Japanese version or the European version. I just play it. Why? Even though it's inferior to FES, and even though FES is an upgrade in every way. I mean, there's the Elizabeth quests and dates in FES, there's hard mode in FES, there's the Eon social link. Yes, some people might be surprised to hear that Aigis did not have a social link in the original game. The answer, of course. Koromaru walks. Some personas got shuffled around a bit. The shrine got a rehaul. I think in the original, you can pray more efficiently at the shrine. Stuff like that. So there's some big upgrades and there's some smaller quality of life upgrades. But I still like to play the original because 20 years ago, that is the version that people were first exposed to, whether they pre-ordered the game and got that nice Gekkoukan bag and the original CD soundtrack with an armband, or whether they heard it from a friend or just went to any retailer and just bought it. The people in Japan 20 years ago just played Persona 3 and experienced it that way for the first time. So there was no answer. There was no clarification for what had happened after Makoto had passed away. It was just left up in the air, which honestly, this might be a hot take that I've had since 2017, but I like it better that way, because even if the answer is beautiful and gives a lot of clarification and ties up some loose ends, I still like the mystery that the original Persona 3 and FES of course has. Not everything is explained. Sometimes, like I guess the first mission, the Keitai mobile game, you have to kind of dig and see what exactly happened before the events of Persona 3. So most of it is kind of left shrouded in mystery, which I feel adds to the atmosphere of the game and the story so much. Which is why, had it been left up in the air and had Makoto just closed his eyes and we never got an expansion with the answer, we just got in regular FES, I think people to this day would have still been theorizing what happened to Makoto, what happened to Makoto. Kind of the way the Persona 1 Pro tag isn't really seen or heard about in Persona 2, which I think is so cool. But back to Persona 3, playing that original game, unfortunately, there's not a lot of archives for the way people felt about the original Persona 3, not FES, because, well, there's not really a lot of media preservation. People really didn't seem to care that much back in 2006 about, oh, someone might care about my opinion someday, which I understand. I think that's becoming a thing now that we're losing we're making the switch more to digital media and we're losing more physical media, and preservation in general is something that I feel like it needs to be emphasized more and focused on more. But that's a whole nother can of worms. Essentially, my point is just, imagine being a teenager from Japan in 2006. Just sitting down, you just bought Persona 3, you were absolutely excited. Maybe you'd heard about Persona 2 or 1 from an older sibling or from someone you know. And just the fact that it's so different from its predecessors. It has there's no linear storyline in the sense that there's a calendar system now. And especially the way it's marketed as, in the daytime, you're just a regular high school student, hanging out with friends, forming new bonds. And at night, you just fight in that same school, which turns into this scary, creepy, cool tower. You just fight a ton of monsters. That's so cool. I feel like that concept of duality is something Persona is still so good at, and especially in Persona 3, because I remember as a kid, because of that, I wanted the Dark Hour to be a real thing. I was like, if the Dark Hour is real, then, like Junpei, I guess, I thought back then as a young preteen, maybe I'll be useful too. It's so twisted thinking of it now. Wishing the dark hour was real is so messed up. But yeah, that's how I felt. I too wanted to have these cool, mysterious friends that I could like help so we could save the world together, you know? But as an adult, Persona 3 has just become like, you know, home. It's just home to me. I know it's weird to say this about a video game about teenagers shooting themselves in the head, but it quite literally has become my comfort because I've spent over half of my life with this game and I would never trade it for anything ever. So even though this video was just a mess, I do hope you maybe want to share your thoughts or something resonated about Persona 3 that didn't before with you, or you agree. It doesn't matter. It was just a celebration of what Persona 3 is. And hopefully I'll get to see even more Persona 3 in the future. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy whatever is going to happen in your day or night. Hey, before you go, there's a cover I want to sing of Memories of You. 風の声、光の粒、まどろみ君に注ぐ、忘れない優しい微笑み、悲しさ隠した瞳を願うこと辛くても立ち向かう勇気君にもらっただから行くね夢の中目覚めたらまた会えるよ遠い記憶胸に秘め歌う儚くたゆた世界を君の手で守ったから今はただ翼を畳んでゆっくり眠りなさい永遠の安らぎに包まれて Love through all eternity 優しく見守る私のこの手で眠りなさい笑ってた泣いてた怒ってた君のこと覚えている忘れないいつまでも決して Until my life is exhausted Until my life is exhausted